Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Faith, Family, and Finance.
And technical difficulties.
Yes, I am Sharindria Robinson.
And I'm Marcus Robinson.
And this is take 4. But I think we're good now. Yes? Okay. Yeah. If not, tune in for take 5. But we want to thank you, as always, for joining us on Sunday evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about what many of us don't talk about, and that's to talk about our faith, which is generally a taboo topic, to talk about our family, and to talk about our finances. And especially when we look in our communities, when we look at communities in the South, when we look at African American communities, we don't sit around the dinner table on Sundays and talk about finances. No, we all come together on Sundays. Well, we used to. Nobody's coming together. Nobody's coming together right now. But we come together on Sundays. Easter Resurrection Sunday is one of my favorite. It's my favorite, I guess, holiday, if you call it, observant. And I love having people to come over on Easter Sunday and have dinner and have conversation. That won't be happening this year. But even when we talk about having that conversation and having people over, rarely do people like to sit around. Well, in our culture, people don't sit around and talk about their finances. And so this is why we have this platform. We're not financial advisors. We're not financial planners. We are just two individuals who God has entrusted with resources, and we believe that we've been good stewards of what He has entrusted to us, and so we want to share what we've gained with you. So, if you are watching this on our personal page, because I think Marcus is over here sharing to all these different platforms, so if you're liking this on our, or viewing this on his personal page, my personal page, or some other page other than Robinson Coaches, Faith, Family, and Finance, I ask you to please head over to Robinson Coaches, Faith, Family, and Finance and like the page and watch us there, because it's only on that page that we'll be able to see your comments and your hearts and likes and see that you are actually sharing this content with other people. So I ask you now to share. Yes, that's a good segue. Share this live with other individuals, and you can also type their names in the comment bar, and hopefully they'll get the notification and come on over and check us out. I'm excited about our topic today.
Absolutely. Our topic today is a recap of the Black Wealth Summit. It took place virtually yesterday from 9 to 4. It looks like we had maybe about 140, 150 people that registered. It was a lot of people for the first time virtually. Initially, we were supposed to have this Black Wealth Summit in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was one in Atlanta and one in Spartanburg. 2 different dates. Rona killed all of that. So,
what did you just say? Who killed it?
Rona.
Rona?
Yeah.
That's what you call her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to know her personally either.
And why does it be her?
Because I don't know a dude named Rona.
Whatever. Okay.
Anyway, let me finish.
Okay.
So, anyway, yeah. So, the coronavirus put a cramp in most events this month. And so what ended up happening is we took it to a virtual platform. And so by all, I believe it was a success.
Yeah, we are having to adapt and make changes. The whole world is. And originally this conference was not going to take place like so many other conferences that have been postponed. But I am proud of and was extremely honored to be a part of the team that decided, hey, let's just do this thing virtually. Let's see what happens. And I've been a part of a lot of conferences, and everyone in the world now is doing so many virtual meetings and virtual conferences. And I really thought, how can I participate in something from 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning until 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon? I was like, this is not going to happen. I can't. No one's going to be engaged for that long. Yeah.
People were engaged.
I was engaged. So I know if I was engaged, most of the time, other than when I had to check on kids.
Mhm.
And I was mad about the content that I missed when I had to check on the kids, but I had to check on the kids.
The law says you need to check on your kids.
People were really engaged, and they were engaged too. The kids came and they participated a little bit in the summit as well. But it was just amazing. It was amazing, and so I'm so excited for all of you who registered. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for registering. It was a little different, awkward being a presenter and you're just kind of facilitating to the screen.
Yeah,
And not
well,
having
especially
that
for
energy.
me,
Especially
like,
for you.
yeah, because normally when I do workshops, when I do anything like that, I feed off of who's in the room.
Yeah.
And if nobody's in the room giving me any type of energy, I create it.
Right.
And you use proximity control and all these different techniques, that I learned as a teacher, that generally work. And at this particular situation, I didn't.
You can't do that.
We can do any of that.
Well, I see. I learned, and it makes it difficult because I
Sam
just
Hinton.
know. Hey Sam, how are you? I just know. I guess I don't know how to talk to the camera, engage the camera.
That's because you wanted to be an actress one time.
No, that has nothing to do with it. And why are we bringing up old stuff? So we're gonna recap tonight the Black Wealth Summit, and I'm excited because we have some of the actual participants who participate. Some of the participants from yesterday's summit will call in and be a part of our audience today. And we want to hear, because it's one thing for Marcus and I to tell you, we were both facilitators, so it's one thing for us to tell you about the summit, but I think it adds a different layer of validity when we bring someone else in to have them share their experience with the conference, from the conference with you. The conference took place, as Marcus said, there were over 140 people who registered for the conference. At any one time on yesterday, we had closer to 75 to 100, maybe about a little over half of that, who's engaged on and off. But though everyone who registered will have access to the full conference to watch it. I know some people had conflicts and different things that came up. But it's hard to find childcare now because nobody really wants to come to your house and watch your kids.
And we don't want people.
And we don't want people to come to our house and watch our kids. So it was a little bit challenging for some people. But for those of us who were able to get on, it was really engaging. I learned a lot. I was able to, and I even learned when I was presenting. And I like that so much when you, as I have an opportunity to be a facilitator, but you learn from the people who you're facilitating. I just think that's an amazing thing. And so we want to be able to share some of that content.
So, because you spoke on nonprofit stuff, right? You want to talk anything? You want to say anything about that?
I don't.
Okay. All right,
I talked about, I really don't. I talked about nonprofit management, and I gave people, I gave people like rules, tools, and strategies to grow and manage their nonprofit organization in this very critical time. And so even though I have a stock presentation for that, I definitely had to curtail that presentation to today's economy and today's pandemic, and still be able to encourage nonprofit organizations to let them know that funding is still out there, not just look to grants, that there are individuals who are still giving during this time, and just talk to them about that funding and talk to them about their management. Whether you're small, we have people who just started a nonprofit organization, and we also have people who've been in their organization was over 15 years old. And so there was a wide variety of, there was a big gap there in terms of the participants in that particular session. But regardless of that, I think based on their conversation, everybody was able to walk away with something that was beneficial to them.
Well, good enough. Yeah. I talked about real estate investing and had quite a few people in my session, and we were quite busy answering questions about what do you do in this climate. Are people still buying real estate? Are people still selling? Are people still trying to rent houses? The answer is yes to all of those things. And a company like ours, we had to literally adapt to doing things like video interviews, strictly online platform. When it comes down to application process, it's Cash App. Developing multiple streams of ways that people can give and pay their rent and pay fees and all that type of stuff. So it's been an interesting situation, but we've adapted, I think, pretty well. At least according to the spreadsheet they gave me, I'm okay right now. So, but yeah, really. So it's one of those situations. We're all still adapting. We're all still getting used to this quote unquote new norm, and so I'm excited about the 3 or 4 individuals that will be calling in and talking to us about their experience with the Black.
Hey, Mama. I see. I'm gonna take this privilege to say happy anniversary. Happy anniversary to my mom and Pop Brown, and they're tuning in. Like it's their anniversary, but they are still tuning in to Faith, Family, and Finance. Hey,
they can't go out to dinner.
They can't go out to dinner. Mom said they made they had a candlelit dinner at home. So they simulated the whole restaurant vibe. I see a lot of people doing that for their anniversary. Speaking of which, before our caller, we have 2 minutes before our caller come in. Yep, I'm gonna change the subject. So, what are you gonna do for me on our anniversary?
Well, say
our anniversary is Thursday. What? Are you serious? You don't want to talk about our wedding anniversary?
I'm trying to answer a call. You have impeccable timing.
No, I just
you have impeccable timing.
He doesn't want to answer.
Oh my goodness, you have impeccable timing.
That's my cue.
Yes,
that was not your cue.
You did an. I am gonna cash app you in a few.
Put the phone down so our listeners can hear, please.
Anyway,
Thank you,
sorry
sir.
about that.
Thank you. Anyway. All right, so I need our listeners to be able to tell us if you are able to hear our first speaker who called just as I was asking Marcus what's going to happen on Thursday for our wedding anniversary. How many years?
15.
15 years.
15.
I really thought we would have been on the beach somewhere celebrating 15 years. But
I could bring you some dirt.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Marcus, you want to introduce our first?
So we have Phoenicia Wright. She hails from the big metropolis of Barnwell, South Carolina. And she's on the phone with us. She was one of the participants in the Black Wealth Summit, the virtual Black Wealth Summit yesterday. And I asked her to call in and kind of talk about her experience with the Black Wealth Summit, what she got out of it, and some things that maybe she wants to get out of it next year. So I guess at this time, just talk to us, Phoenicia, about what you got out of the Black Wealth Summit.
Wow. I'm going to say it was exciting. It was informative. We have, and I say we meaning, our color melatonin. We have some exciting heavy hitters in our group, and to be a part of that group of individuals was exhilarating. From Eugene to Tracy to Broderick and Shannon, not to mention Miss Pink Halo, Miss Ash Couture, you two. It was exciting. It was exciting. And for me, having been in the real estate game for about a year now, I learned with Shannon that though I may have everything else planned, I would have never, ever thought about having a succession plan between my partner and I. And, he and I come from 2 different backgrounds. And he and I have discussed before, okay, what happens if something happens to you, if something happens to me? Who are we to deal with? We both have children, and I'm like, bro, I don't want to mess with your ex-wife. But I didn't know that we needed a succession plan. Wow. I didn't know that that's what it was called. So I'm going to say that I learned a great deal. Next year, what I would like to learn is even more. Talk about preparing yourselves for wealth, for bridging that gap. I don't think that I learned more in a matter of, 8 hours?
8 hours.
Yeah. And then I'm telling you, the only complaint that I have, the only complaint that I have is y'all need to, when y'all take us to breaks for using the restroom, it need to be a little bit longer than 5 minutes, or a little bit longer.
Hey, are you gearing that toward me?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I'm like,
Guilty
no, we only got X amount of time to go. I had to run downstairs and go grab me a drink or go eat something. My mom looked at me like, what's wrong with you? I got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That's all I got. 5 minutes.
We're trying to give you your money's worth.
Well, I understand that, but let me at least have 10. Let me at least swallow,
That's funny.
Let me at least not have to inhale it.
Right.
But,
so, let me ask you this. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, personally, from what I obtained from that meeting and from the heavy hitters, the amount that I paid, $25, that was a steal. That was a steal. I mean, you would have, any other place it would have been a little bit more. And I like the quote-unquote breakout group small setting because we were able to engage. Even with the presenters, we were still able to engage, but it was overall well worth the $25.
Oh yes. I'm glad you felt that way. And you talked about those breakout sessions. Well, not just the breakout sessions, but all the sessions. Were you able to feel, even though this was done virtually, were you able to feel the energy and the enthusiasm from the presenters, or was it just, you're in your home and you're just kind of like, I want them to hurry up and get to the next one. Or did you find yourself being really engaged with the content and the presenters?
No, actually, I felt that the presenters were engaging. I didn't feel like we were left out. I know that it was a different platform for everyone, but it was well worth the try. And it also taught me when I was because I kept trying to fish around Zoom for a minute. But I told my dad about it this morning. I was like, we could do Zoom, especially during this pandemic social distancing time. I was like, we can get a group of, X amount of ministers or individuals, because my dad's a minister, but church members that can get online and we can do a Zoom meeting if you want to, or things of that nature. I just thought the whole, taking what could have been a deal breaker and making it work with what we had available, that was phenomenal.
Wow.
That was phenomenal. And I sat in Marcus's breakout.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
No, God bless you. I just had to.
Right. God bless me. God bless me.
Yes, God bless you.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all rough.
But, hey, we telling the truth, man. Telling the truth. But no, it was, long story short, it was phenomenal. And I can't wait to receive my playback information so that I can go and look and listen to the other presenters and even replay some of the things that I heard. It was just...
Right. I'm with you on that. I'm ready for the replay. And so don't worry for those, let me just speak to those who are watching and you didn't get a chance to you didn't get the opportunity to view it on Saturday, but you registered, you'll have the link. You'll still be able to go back on and listen to the segment and hear everything. And so that's
Wonderful.
another that was another exciting part of this presentation. So I'm excited about that. As they're still
I'm
compressing that. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
that was great.
yeah, I am glad you were able to attend the Blackwell Summit. Let me ask you this: was this your first one?
It was.
Okay,
good. It was. And I'm going to say that, I quickly had to, I quickly text Marcus during the summit, but I think that I may have, using some of the information that Marcus had discussed with us, I think I may have picked up a 9 unit.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That would be
Thank
great.
you.
And then you'll be one of the persons next year sharing your testimony to everyone at the Blackwell Summit. So,
Or might be a presenter.
Oh yeah, so I am
Don't go there, Marcus.
He's about to go there. So I am excited about that. I thank you for taking some time out to share your experience in the Black Wolf Summit with us and with the rest of the listeners who are listening. Everyone is listening to you. They're giving you the hearts and the thumbs up. We're going to.
No, they're giving y'all the hearts and thumbs
No,
up.
they're not. No, they're not.
You guys keep it going. That was, I'm telling you, hands down, if the individuals listening didn't get an opportunity to participate, I would say reach out to Marcus, reach out to Shalindria, find out how you can still possibly pay the $25.
I like that.
to possibly grab the afterplay, the replay.
And I will say this: there is talk amongst some of us about doing another private Zoom, and it's not going to be nearly as long. It might just be something like 30 to 40 minutes or something like that, just to kind of recap and kind of capitalize some of the things that we talked about that were high points. So yeah, definitely appreciate you calling in, and I think we have our second caller.
Yes, so thank you so much for dialing in. We ask you to stay engaged to the live. We are going to go to our next caller. So that was Miss. Thank you, Phoenicia. So much. That was Miss Phoenicia Wright. She is live. If you want to even message her and have conversation with her even more, she is online right now, so you can engage with her. This is her first time attending the Blackwell Summit, so we're just so excited that she felt as if she got her money's worth. And her charge to you is that if you didn't attend, then let's look at and have conversation about what is it that you can do to possibly still pay for and get that playback. And I think that's something that we're willing to entertain. Next, we have on the call, we have Miss the legendary. I can call her legendary. Wow, she's so young, but she's just phenomenal. Her name is Larisha McDaniel. Larisha McDaniel was also a participant in yesterday's Black Wealth Summit, and Larisha hails from Bishopville. I know I probably messed it up. Bishopville, South Carolina. Did I get it right, Larisha?
It's actually Dalzell, South Carolina.
See, I knew it was like somewhere near Bishopville, like you could throw a stone's throw away. But Dalzell, I wanted to get it right because we girls from small town, we like for you to hit it right on the head. Like
I'm gonna let you have all.
Yeah, I know. We want you to get it right there. So, Larisha, thank you so much for taking some time out of your schedule tonight to talk to us about your experience with the Black Wealth Summit. Would you tell us, was this your first time attending the summit?
Yes, it was my first time.
Okay. And so it was your first time, and I know you were probably excited about going to Spartanburg, feeling the energy, being a part of the group, and we did it virtually. So how was your virtual experience with the Black Wealth Summit?
Well, I felt that it was very adaptable.
Okay.
Even though this was a different experience for everyone, being placed on the pandemic and everybody being on lockdown, so I think it was very adaptable. I give kudos to Divertis and everybody that collaborated to make this possible. It was such a remarkable experience, and I think that the mission and the goals were still accomplished despite what was at hand.
Okay, I got you. Now, did you get the opportunity? So we had several. We had a keynote speaker, and then we had several speakers to come after that, and then we all broke out into these breakout sessions, and then we had some closing speakers. So there were a lot of speakers and so much content. There was a wealth of content that was given. But can you talk about one of those segments that you had the opportunity to glean from, and did you get the chance to go to a breakout session, and which one?
So I was able to join at the 12:30, but I still seem to gain a lot of information from each of the sessions. I too went to the breakout session with Mr. Marcus, and some things that stood out to me from his session was he said two things that stick with me now. He said, "You can't save your way to the top."
What? He said you can't save your way to the top. Okay. Did you remember saying that, Marcus?
Not at
He
all.
doesn't remember saying that.
I'll take your word
shared
for it.
that. I'm glad you shared that.
Well, not verbatim,
But yeah.
kind of in my words.
You're right, but yeah.
I love your words. You can't save your way to the top. That sounds good. I like it.
And then he also mentioned you are your greatest asset. And so those two things really resonated with me and made me think about what can I offer somebody else, or what problems can I solve in order to be valuable. Even though he talked about real estate, it made me think about every other aspect of a business as well.
I like that.
Well, everything is related. That's for sure. I mean, real estate is just the business that I'm in. But you're right. Everything is relatable. It's a lot of transferable skills. So you're right. And the funny thing is, as a teacher, you learn how to do everything that I do.
Right.
So that's good stuff.
Wow. I am so glad that you were able to participate in the summit, and I think there is something to be said about. I love it when I love it when people of all ages to participate in the summit, but I love it when I see people who are younger than us. Your hair makes you seem like you're much older than you really are. But I love it when people seem like people who are younger than us take advantage, not just come and listen to this stuff, but walk away and have action steps. And Javertis Burnett was very intentional about making sure that we had action steps when we walked away. We didn't just leave the summit and just say, "Oh, that was another summit," but we go and do something. So, Larisha, share with me, what is one thing that you think that you will do? Like, what is the one thing that you will do as a result of this summit?
Well, being in the current pandemic, already having the capability and the knowledge of having a plan instead of a document, that was mentioned by one of the speakers. And the attorney outlined why it's important to have a plan instead of documents. So even though I'm young, 26 years old,
You're 26?
It's still a great time. Huh?
You're 26?
Yes, I am.
Wow.
Yes.
You remember
being
26?
at this age, it still is valuable for me to sit down and make these plans. Because we don't know the day or the hour when it's our time. Right. But it's okay to be prepared in advance.
Right. And
then also that information can transfer to our family members. And so I invested in my mom and my aunt to pay for a ticket because I know this information would be important for them to know as well.
Wait a minute. So you didn't just get a seat at the table for yourself to the Black Wealth Summit. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
So you want to make sure that your mom and your aunt also had a seat at the table and they were able to participate in the Black Wealth Summit.
Yes.
That's amazing. Wow. Great.
And what I figured that we are, as African Americans, sometimes we are afraid of attesting to the things that we don't know. And so this platform gave us an opportunity for us not to just attest to it, but to be willing to learn what we don't know.
Wow. I love it. And I resonate with you when you talked about the planning. For those of you who weren't there, there was a estate planning attorney who was our closing keynote, and the information that she shared, talking to us about the difference between having a will and a living trust, and making sure that we have all of our final plans in place and that they're detailed. It was, for me, there were some steps there, some things there that I'd done, but like you just said, Larisha, I haven't gone into the level of detail that she talked about in that particular session, and so that was definitely one of the nuggets that I was able to take away from the summit as well. So I am just was so grateful for that information. But now we have the information. We can't sit on our butts and do nothing. Like, we have the information. Now next year, this same time, if I still don't have some of these detailed pieces in place that she talked about, shame on her and shame on you.
Yeah.
And shame on you. By you, I meant Marcus, not you, Larisha. I meant shame on Marcus.
I know. Shame on me too. Because if I was able to absorb the information, I should be able to produce something.
Amen. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I mean, that was just phenomenal. And even during this time, I just want to say to you, even as an educator, I know that you already know this, but there's so many things, or so many ideas that were just kind of roaming around in my head on yesterday about things that we can do to maximize this time. So this time that we have, we cannot be confused and think that this is just downtime. Like, this is time for us to get our acts together. This is time for us to get our ducks in a row. This is a time we don't need to sleep.
It's not.
I mean, as I said, I need to rest, but I'm just saying we don't need to sleep on this time. Like, we don't need to just think this is my time to do nothing. This is not idle time. Like, make the most of it. And so you were given some great information, and my prayers that you, in the weeks to come, that you'll be able to maximize this time in between all those wonderful lessons that you're doing for your students.
Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing is, the things that you learn at conferences like this, because you have such young minds, that you have the opportunity to shape, you get to share that stuff with them. Imagine learning what we were talking about, in 7th grade and 10th grade, and taking that to college, taking that back to wherever you're from, and then, starting a life with that type of information. Many of us, if we had that information in high school, our lives might be totally different now. So I think once you get that information, you're right, you have to share it with others, and you have to get people to where they need to be, and it seems like you did that. So kudos to you.
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Larisha. Do you have any closing comment or anything that you want to share with us before we take our next caller?
Just the only thing is just to be receptive to any new information, especially when diverse of somebody of a high professional expertise to gather different professionals in one setting. For us to take advantage of that, don't feel that we are being feel like we're incompetent of learning any information, but just be willing to be open and learn from the experience.
Wow. Yeah. And again, as Phoenicia said, to be able to get all of that information, some people were able to register for $25. Some people were able to register for $29. And I think the maximum price some people had to pay was $49. But even if you paid $49, the people that were a part of this summit, they were phenomenal. And you're right, we can't be intimidated by that, though. We have to still make sure that we're open and willing to learn from the people who are at the table. So I think that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yes, thank y'all. Thank you for all of your words of wisdom, and thanks. Big shout out to Javertis.
Yes.
And all of the presenters for the session and their willingness to give us a helping hand.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Have a great one.
One thing
go ahead.
One thing I will say about all of the speakers, when we met, even via conference call, everybody has a heart for people.
Oh yeah, they do.
Everybody wanted to make sure that if this platform is available, that we would give everything that we had, that we could give in those 2 hours. If you would present 2 hours, that's a whole other thing. 2 hours. Good Jesus. Yeah, but everything we had, we was trying to give what we could, because the reality is we all come from the same neighborhood, just a different location.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, if your pigment looks like my pigment, we came from the same neighborhood. And so, you know, to have people, to work with people like that is an absolute blessing. And so only God could have arranged a situation like that with those type of people who have not only a heart for people, but have a heart for God too. And so definitely kudos to the team who produced all this information. I look forward to seeing the playback as well.
Me too.
Some of the stuff she said that I said, I'm just going to have to take her word for it.
Yeah, everybody's looking forward to that. Zanata is on the live also, and she's saying that she participated in the entrepreneurial session, and during being a part of that entrepreneurial group, you know, she learned a lot of information as well. But same thing, want to be able to hear some of the breakout sessions. I will say this, and Zanata was there. Zanata was at the Black Wealth Summit last year. I realized I don't think we picked anyone to call in who was at the summit last year, but Zanata was at the summit on last year, and you know, then also had an opportunity to come back this year and to be a part of the summit. And again, I think that is something else that speaks volumes to an event. I saw a lot of people who were at the summit when we were in Greenville, and they were back at the virtual summit. And you know, sometimes I don't know about you, but I've gone to conferences and then they come back around and I'm like, no. Like, it was good, but and so to be able to have people to make the investment, you know, multiple years in a row, I do think that speaks volumes to the quality and the type of event that was brought to the table. And so I'm excited about 2021. How about you?
I'm excited about 2021 and 2020.
Yeah.
We just in April.
Okay. I'm excited about Black Wealth Summit 2021.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
He had a slow moment there, y'all. So I'm excited about the Black Wealth Summit 2021. Things will be done a little differently. You know, Javertis will still be at the helm in terms of helping to identify all of these wonderful and phenomenal speakers and helping to pull us together. But Black Wealth Summit 2021, like this year, will be brought to you by Clear Vision Seminars and Consulting.
Yes.
Yeah, will be brought to you by Clear Vision Seminars and Consulting. And, you know, just looking and thinking about the locations and multiple locations. You know, this year, what our goal was to have the summit in Atlanta and to have it in Spartanburg, so that we could have a Georgia and South Carolina offering. But hey, you know, next year I don't see why we can't aim for 3 states or at least 3 different conferences. I know that's a whole lot, but
a little aggressive, don't you
think?
Yeah,
it's a little aggressive. Well, we don't know what we're going to be doing because we don't know the impact of this. But we definitely would think that a year from now that we wouldn't be talking about COVID-19 or 20 or 21 or any other type of COVIDs that are out there. We're not interested. But I am very excited just about the opportunities and the possibilities. I like this format, though. I think that even if we have a larger summit in 2021, like you said, having these small virtual sessions is going to be a thing of the future. You know, like we've all now have gotten tapped into Zoom, and I do believe that this is going to be a part of our new normal. And so I can envision a larger summit, but then smaller breakout groups that last over time, so that you have the opportunity to put what you learn into practice and be able to reach out to those presenters, even if it's just on a quarterly basis. I think that I could do. I think that I would love that. Javerta says that Savannah, is that what Savannah? She said Savannah said it's gonna be over. Oh, okay.
Well, tell Prophetess we okay.
And you know, when I saw Savannah, I was thinking we would take the Black Wealth Summit to Savannah, like Savannah, Georgia. That was when I looked down. That was the first thing I saw, and I believe that Javerta is definitely one who can make that happen for us, having it in Savannah, Georgia. Hey, Summer. Yes. Hey, Summer, to make that happen in Savannah. And so maybe we'll look at the summer in Savannah, since we got summer in Savannah, like just chiming in. You get it? Okay. So I'm done. I'm done for the evening.
You're not.
I am.
No. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go No, but yeah, it's. I guess I was just excited to see a a virtual conference um, with all of those people that look like us. You know, and it be done in excellence. It be done on time.
Oh,
And we broke every stereotype basically yesterday. And so I have to say that because part of what I said in my presentation was we have to get to the point where we appreciate each other and we understand the value that we have. We understand everybody else's value because we pay for it. But we've got to get to the point where we understand our own value, our own worth, and begin to actually put each other in the forefront. And the funny thing is, we didn't have just people from South Carolina.
Oh
We
no.
had people from all over.
Oh no.
And so that was like really, really, really good from the standpoint it puts us in different markets.
And I think Jaberta, since he's there, he can actually type the if he could type. I know we had a speaker from New York. Someone Oh, I hate that I did that. I hate that I just did that. Sorry. I hate that I just did that because I didn't want to start calling names and forget somebody's name. But we had speakers from South Carolina, Georgia, New York. What other state
Maryland
was represented? Maryland was represented. I can't remember. No, I think he was in Florida. Yeah, he said he was from Miami. So we did have speakers from all over. So it wasn't just a Southern thing. It wasn't just a South Carolina thing. Mm-hmm. We had speakers from all over, and I think that definitely added to the diversity and the wealth of the group. And again, I can't overemphasize the people who we saw in the room last year and then thought it not robbery to be a part of the summit this year. Well, he put Maryland, New York, and Maryland, and so, okay, sorry, I just done that and that didn't work. No, I can't. He's asked me could I focus. I really can't. But in order for us to make sure that we continue to have a successful summit, one of the things that we want to be able to do is to always, always, always bring you quality content at an affordable price. Mm-hmm. And so you don't have to type this number on the screen. What I want you to do, I want you to inbox me or text Marcus or Jabertus, and I want you to say, based on if you attended last year and if you attended virtually this year, I want you to tell me, compared to other conferences that you would attend, you can type it here if you want, what would you expect to pay? Like, what would you expect to pay to attend a conference like that? I go to a lot of conferences, and I'm just going to tell you, even $49.95, I was just like, wow. Don't worry, we're not going to raise the price. We're not going there. Because the good thing is we were able to have some sponsors. If you watched on yesterday, the sponsors were reiterated. And so continuing to go after sponsors will be one of the things that we can do to help keep our costs down. But I have paid to attend a conference that was a multi-day conference, maybe like a day and a half. And the registration had the audacity to be $350. And I left there like with nothing. I mean, it was just nothing. And I mean, I've done that multiple times where you pay $300, $350, $295, and you leave with, I'm done. I'm done.
Well,
but this conference, you have presenters from New York, Maryland, Florida, South Carolina, and Georgia, and they were phenomenal, and they gave us a lot. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just thank you from the bottom of my heart. I thank you. I know Jabertus, thank you for participating in the Black Wealth Summit. We ask that you do that you like this, that you share this with other people, so that they can reach out if you didn't attend. This is something that we're also going to be looking at, how to still make this content available for you at the same, the price that these individuals paid. So if you still want to have access to this content as we're putting it together and going to be able to send out the link to watch the replay, then let us know, because I'm telling you, it's information in there that you'll be able to use and apply for the rest of your lives. I mean, I'm seriously when I say the rest of your lives, because as your life changes, your situation changes, you're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to pivot and adapt like we're all doing now. And so you'll find this information useful. I thank y'all for watching. I'm going to turn it over to Marcus because I really don't have anything else to share tonight. I mean, this has been amazing, and I'm just so glad that y'all were able to be there. So I'm going to say, what?
I'm not about to pay a whole car payment for nothing. Hey, yeah. I mean, it's perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, $25. I
Yeah.
mean, well, yeah. She talked about some. I was lost.
Yeah, I was too for a minute.
Some. Okay. I don't know. I got lost. But yeah, so right. Why pay $350? That's a car payment. Sorry, that's where she went. Why pay that much, right, for a conference and you get nothing out of it? So yes, this was a great value, a great steal for $25, or some people pay $49, but it was still a great conference. But please share this information with other people so that they can learn more about the speakers and the content that was shared at the summit on yesterday.
I think the biggest thing that we learned was the power of perspective.
Okay.
Because many times, I mean, when you start talking about wealth, money, family, finances, it's about your perspective. Everybody has one, and everybody's perspective has to be respected. And so, if you didn't learn anything, we learned about the power of perspective, because everybody has a different starting point, but everybody's trying to be wealthy. So I'm excited about the people who are able to come, and I'm excited about those who will be in 2021.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, look, y'all getting off a little bit early tonight. Summer, I finally got what you were talking about, Summer. I did get
She had a moment.
I had a moment. Senior moment. But I got it. But I do want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight for another episode of Faith, Family, and Finance. We have been recapping the Black Wealth Summit that took place on yesterday. Look forward to the replay, and maybe even while we're on this segment, we can show some clips throughout this time while we're locked in together. We'll be able to show you just a little bit of the content from the summit as we get those video clips. Thank you, everyone, so much, and we'll see you back here next Sunday night at 9 o'clock.
Have an amazing night.
Okay, take care.